If you're watching this, it's because I kept the server alive long enough for you to see it. I'm Ferret, editor and webmaster of Star City Games, and this is the Magic Show.
I remember when I lost my mind. There was something so pleasant about that.
Here with Craig Jones, the professor. So I'm here with Will Lietl. I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me.
Hello.
All right, so Nick and Ruben, the guys who made that show for me, which I really appreciate. So I'm here with Steve Sadin.
How's it going?
All right, I'm here with the brilliant strategic mind of Richard Feldman.
How's it going?
Oh, Pete Hopeling.
How you doing?
I'm here with Gadiel Slifer. I am here with Paul Neon Cheon. I'm here with Louis Scott Vargas.
Paulo Vitor Damo da Rosa.
Zach Hill. The man.
I wish you'd got, like, I said tight things on camera earlier and it wasn't even on. Man, your timing's so bad.
I know.
You want to hear it or not? Yeah. Get out of my remote. You play the thing.
Yeah, this is like ambush journalism because I'm just watching you play Magic and you whip this thing out.
GP.
It's like you've just exposed yourself to me in a playground. Just this thing comes out, whoop. You know.
But think twice.
Yeah, it's more expensive to get here, but I was thinking, well, it's a bit more. There won't be as many people. Everybody seems to hate the legacy format because of the
Flash problem.
And,
Yeah.
So I turned up thinking, yeah, 3-2, make top 64. Everybody's playing the same broken deck. As much chance as anybody else. So I get here, 900 players. Oh dear.
I was astounded at the number of players who were here.
Yeah, I think it's really good. I mean, like, hopefully we'll start seeing more legacy GPs.
I thought that since there was the other Grand Prix going on at the same time, I thought there would be much less people here.
Yeah.
But you know, apparently a lot of people who play Legacy for fun just came out of nowhere and just played in this tournament. You know, it's a really big tournament.
To lose the lives I wanna live.
First time I play Legacy, I really love it.
Yeah.
Enjoying.
It's a really cool format, isn't it?
It's very cool.
Absolutely. So you like Legacy? You like playing Legacy?
It was alright. Like, I didn't really like having to prepare for an event where I know I'm never going to play a Legacy event until another Grand Prix, maybe a year away.
Right.
So that takes away a little bit of the incentive, but it's a fun format. I like playing with dual lands and, you know.
Nice to use the fetch lands for the real stuff.
I'm pretty happy to play with Brainstorm. It's one of my favorite cards.
Yeah, that's great.
It was fun. I haven't had more fun playing in a Magic tournament ever. Or Rich Hohen with his loam deck and thinking, I know what this doesn't extend it. I have no idea in Legacy. I've only played 2 matchups and that's all I was looking for. Fish decks or hook decks.
And you're not getting exactly.
So I'm looking at this thinking, well, I've got Meddling Mage. I've seen Life from the Loam. Yeah, okay, we'll name that. Another Meddling Mage. Well, I've counted his Engineered Explosives. I don't know what else is there. Well, just Engineered Explosives for the second. So at least I've seen those cards. But I feel real bad for Rich Hohen. That was a horror story of a game.
Oh my god.
It was. I mean, he got Leyline out when I had the combo. For some reason, I'd left Echoing Truth on the board. So I'm looking at Leyline thinking I've got no way to get rid of it. I've got some random Meddling Mages. So just make Meddling Mage, make Carrion Feeder, make Body Snatcher, beat down. Oh, it wasn't pretty. It was not a game of Magic.
The 3 best matchups for the deck were Hulk, Goblins, and Fish, and played none of them in 9 matches. So
Wow.
that's how that goes.
I started off today 8-0-1, so undefeated, technically dirty undefeated, I guess. And then the wheels just kind of fell off. Like, just started doing the mulls to 5 and everything like that. Lost a Flash for the first time because, like, game 1 mull to 5, basically couldn't cast any spells any relevant spells until it was too late. And then game 2 just like Duress, Chalice for 2, land, no Mistress Factories, and he just killed me with a Dark Confidant and a Carrion Feeder from 21. Just like that, like I needed to go 2-1 to make top 8 and it went 0-3.
Arrgh. Just so painful.
Yeah. Round 5, I'm 4-0. I'm playing against Goblins. And I'm going off. And play Flash, put Purdy and Hulk into play. It's like, alright, well, play it out. Oh man, I don't know how to do this. So, with my Purdy and Hulk, I go get Karmic Guide and Carrion Feeder.
Yeah.
Bring back my Purdy and Hulk. Sack it to Carrion Feeder. Get Kiki Jiki. Tap my Kiki Jiki, target my Karmic Guide. But in response, sacrifice the Karmic Guide to my Carrion Feeder. That's not the way it works at all.
Oh no!
Yeah, I lost that match. Next match, I'm playing against Goblins. It's like somewhere in the middle of the game. He has some Mox Fanatics. I start going off. I flash. Purdianel goes to the yard. Get Karmic Guide and Carrion Feeder. Karmic Guide
brings back Protein Hulk, I sacrificed it to Carrion Feeder. In response, he Mog Fanatics my Carrion Feeder.
Right.
It's like, alright, well, in response, I'll sack my Karmic Guy. Go get Body Snatcher. Like, I know I'm supposed to be able to win, but I just can't figure it out. Like, you know, obviously just sack it, Carrion Feeder, get back my Karmic Guy, get back Protein Hulk, and win. Couldn't figure that out. Just got back my Protein Hulk instead.
Did you just beat him to death with it?
No, we wound up with a draw. He had a lot of blockers.
Yeah.
Game 2, he goes on his second turn to play Meddling Mage. I play Brainstorm in response. He plays Daze. I have Daze in my hand too, so my plan was to Brainstorm and then Daze his Mage. He, my Daze resolves, my Brainstorm resolves. I put the land back on top, and I put Protean Hulk on top of it. My hand is fetch land, now fetch land, Protean Hulk, Flash, Chain of Vapor. Mystical and Mystical Tutor. No, I'm sorry. Chain of Vapor. No Chain of Vapor. Mystical Tutor, Flash, Protean Hulk, and Fetch Land. I let the Meddling Mage resolve because I have Mystical Tutor. And, well, I can't counter it, so it doesn't matter. So it comes into play. He doesn't name anything. And he doesn't name anything. I untap my land, and I draw the second Protean Hulk. I play the Fetch Land. I go to break it, and I'm going to play Flash and win. By the way, we force a will. We both force a will over the Meddling Mage. It's important. So he spent his counter range. So there was a Daze and force a will.
He was beat.
Yeah, he was beat. He calls the judge over, and since he hadn't named a card, and it was sort of a mind stroke on both of our parts, the judge says he can name a card even though it's my turn. The problem is I've already drawn the second Protean Hulk. If he was going to name Flash, if he named Flash, I would have upkeep Mystical for Chain of Vapor, play the fetch land, pass, on his hand step, chain the Meddling Mage, untap and win. As it stood, I drew the second Protean Hulk. So I had the Mystical Tutor on his next end step, untapped all Chain of Vapor. Since I only had 2 lands, I could chain the thing, but then I would only have 1 mana up. I have to wait another turn to Flash. That's exactly what happened. I ended up losing. A very long game. It was back and forth. But I would have went on the spot. The thing that's screwed up about it is that, yes, I know that both players are responsible for the game states. It's his Meddling Mage. But even since I had Brainstorm, I had seen the card, it would have made no sense for me to draw a second Protean Hulk. I would have Mystical Tutored there. The judge should have taken into account that I made strategic dimensions that. The judge's decision was based 100% on the fact that he had gained no new information and should be able to name what he wanted to name. Not taking into effect, you made strategic decisions. I made a strategic decision, tactical decisions based upon this. So it was really an unfair thing. I mean, it's screwed up. I mean, it is. Yes, both players are responsible for the game state and the rules, but he should, since it's his card, you know, should be some additional responsibility on him. I'm not saying it should be that I'm not responsible, but that should somehow weigh in my favor. I think the key to Vintage is that you don't have to go in and learn a new format every 3 months. Once you learn there's a base of skill. Certain number of tactical interactions, like how to brainstorm, use the tutors, how to force a will, use mana drain effectively. That carries through the years. It's like riding a bicycle. Once you learn it, you don't forget it. I think it's so different about Magic than chess. Chess tournaments are the most grueling, awful thing. You sit there for an hour and a half, and you get to play like 4 rounds, it's like 12 hours of gone, 9 hours of gone live. The thing that's so cool about Magic is that you sit down across from your so you don't come in. It's not like we're doing a movie or playing a video game.
I think most people think they have a good shot too.
Yeah, but you play against another human being, so it's an inherently social game. I don't know if that's true for Magic Online, but I don't play Magic Online. In fact, Craig Stevenson wants to organize some sort of Magic Online tournament called the Riders that starts the game, but I'm the only one who doesn't have an FTGO account.
Still?
No. Wow. I mean, because for me, Magic is another human being.
You have a real special skill. Steve can play 2 decks against each other at the same time, objectively, and make the decisions without like having the fact that he knows both hands like really weigh in. Yeah. So like, because like I can't do it. I'm like, but I know that the other deck has force.
you have a very famous sort of rivalry with Gadiel's Lifer. Is that correct?
Actually, it's more for his side. I don't have. I personally didn't have anything against him until he starts to write some bad things about me.
Right.
But I guess probably everyone notices after Charleston that I have a good streak, a great streak.
Yeah, you're on fire there for a long time.
Yeah, so 3 or 4 events in a row I have very good results.
Yeah.
And I know, I really think that today only he thinks that I'm a cheater, that I stack decks. I can't stack decks for in the walls in the last 3 Pro Tours.
Right.
Today I play him the fetch match. I came to the table to shake his hands or something like this, and so he asked the judge to shuffle his deck because I stack decks. He's only 18, I guess. He's a kid. When I was 18 years old, I didn't do that. Maybe he stopped that and focused on his play because he's a great player.
Yeah.
I have personally, if he didn't talk bad things about me, if he didn't write bad things about me, he could be my friends, he could hang out with me, but I don't know, he chose this way. He wants to be a jerk.
Right. So he's sort of chosen to accuse you of different things, and so now you're kind of stuck in the middle saying...
I don't have personally any problem with him, but I don't know.
Can you show me the little piece of paper you had? Because I love that. That's
well,
great.
I knew somebody. I need the Oracle text to flash.
So that is the Oracle text to flash,
Yes,
just in
it
case
is.
somebody wants to know. And so, have most of the questions regarding it been, can we do something while it's happening?
That's correct. Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And basically, once it resolves, all of it's going to resolve.
It's all going to go. There's not like the sacrifice goes on the stack or something. So you've got an ability to respond.
Right.
There's nothing. You either let flash resolve or you don't.
But I met Richard in the time, and I was just really impressed with his play. Like, number one, he designed this version of the Antoine Durrell Psychotog deck. He tweaked it a little bit, added Vettleman shinies at the time. And his list was just beautiful. I mean, it was brilliant. Like, he didn't have wasted wonders, and like, so his list was perfect, and he played really well. And so I was like, dude, you're tight. Like, I want to talk to you. And so then I went up to St. Louis for a PTQ, visited some of my friends at WashU, and started hanging out with all the St. Louis guys, and I just really liked them. So we started doing that. We realized we both kind of thought about Magic the same way, and we started building decks, like, I guess, for last year's regionals. The way we usually build decks is like, we have a strategy, and then we're like, okay, here's the holes we need to fill, or like, here's a weak point in the format that we want to attack. For Extended, it was like, every deck wants to cast a lot of, 1 mana cheap spells, and we want to play Chalice. For Legacy, it was like, well, the 2 predominant decks we thought were going to be Threshold and Flash. Leyline would crush us, both of those decks. And so, like, we've got to attack the graveyard, and we have to do it proactively with permanents. So in a format like Legacy, you can come up with that, like, idea, and then you just go through Gather and search for cards that do what you want. In Standard, it's a lot more refined card pool, and you have to use the combat phase in Standard, and I don't do well with the combat phase. Me and the combat phase are not good friends. Like, Richard and I's two-headed giant team, like, we could build the hell of some decks, we could think, like, 30 turns in advance, but man, when it comes to not 2-for-1ing ourselves with onboard tricks, can't handle that. Our opponent had a Cautery Sliver on the 4th turn of the game. We swing our 2/2 Fear guy and our Scrib Ranger at him. He's like, block, damage on, kill your Scrib Ranger. We're like, well, didn't see that. So, you don't want to get me involved in attacking and blocking.
Nemesis Rare, Sky Shroud Poacher, the Creature Dash Rebel. Okay, and people, these are the cards everyone wonders about. Why are you playing Deranged Hermit in the Legacy format? Like, you can kill on turn 2 or you can cast 5 mana 1/1s. Well, against Fish and Threshold, like Threshold if you have Leyline or if they don't have Threshold yet, all they play are like terrible 2/2 creatures. Just the awful bad creatures. Well, lots of the other proactive disruption decks will just play a dude and like hope it kind of goes the distance. Well, the problem is they can chump it and race it, or swords it or whatever. The thing about the Range Hermit is even if they swords it, you still have 4 guys. And Poacher they have to swords right then, but like once you play this card,
they can't ever attack. Because you get 4 2/2s and you block and you kill every single one of their creatures. The other thing about Poacher is that against combo decks, he's actually the fastest clock we can think of in these colors. Because you play him, and then they die 2 turns later. Because or 2 turns after he becomes active. Because you can get a deranged hermit, not pay echo, swing with 4 guys, go get another hermit, and then you 8 them, and then you've got 8 2/2 creatures on the board.
Wow.
So he's just a giant clock by himself. He also, after board, lets you search up an elf replica against energy field out of the board of flash decks.
Wow.
And it kills Engineered Plague too. And you can get Viridian Shaman for Fish's Vedelkin Shackles after sideboard, as well as other people's Umazal spits. Like, this actually came up for Richard because he had to blow up a ghostly prison with it. Wall cards. So, like, these are just random utilities. So this guy, you know, and if you're out of hermits, you can always just get mono elves.
And if your heart stops beating.
And so you and Zach Gill, do you guys build basically all the decks you play anymore?
Yeah, these days, like, that's been the trend. It's basically Zach says, I really want to play this in the format, and I'm like, huh, what if we did this with that? And then we kind of go back and forth on that. Like, my problem has always been I always want to start with some deck that's terrible, and Zach always wants to start with some deck that's already powerful and like good at doing something, but which has some weakness. And then I'm really good at like attacking specific problems and say like, this is this deck's weakness. How can we fix that? Like Zach's, you know, started off. So like, why don't we play Trinity Green with Wasteland and Ports and things like that, and Gaia's Cradle? And I was like, well, like, you know, that's not going to be Flash with just like Wastelands and Ports. What if we had Black for like, you know, this like Duress and like some other stuff? And then we're like, well, we're gonna like beat the heck out of Fish, so why don't we just main deck Leyline of the Void and beat Fish even when we draw it? And like, okay, so we tried that out and it works. And one thing led to another. We ended up with this deck, no cradles or anything. Like, basically what we'll do is we'll go back and forth like that. We'll just each individually test, because I'm in St. Louis and he's in Memphis for like, you know, a while, and then we'll just like call each other on the phone a lot, you know, end up tweaking the deck, and then we end up playing the same list at PTQs or whatever, Grand Prix.
So you plan on taking control of the regionals? That's what you're more comfortable with?
That's my default plan. I mean, just because a good friend of mine, Aaron Hopman, aka Darth, had pointed out something very good, which is that Dragonstorm might be the best deck in the format, but it's not very interactive in terms of like, it's pretty tough to outplay your opponent with Dragonstorm. Like, usually it's just, if you don't mess up, you can get there, but you can't really like trick them into something, you know, like just kind of like get an advantage just by being a good player. So, given the choice between the two, I'd rather like take a control deck where I can, you know, at least like try to bluff my opponent into doing something where I can like, you know, wreck him with a Wrath or, I mean, something like that. But if Dragonstorm just turns out to be the absolute best and I can't get anything to beat it, I'll just probably play that. That's kind of boring, but every year at regionals I have the same pattern. I start off, I lose like round 1 or something, and then I go like 8-0, and then I lose again, and then don't make top 8. Kind of sick of that. So I think this year, if I have to, I'll just, if I figure out the Dragonstorm is the best deck, I'll just play it so I can go to Nats. Buy premium.
Right, because he's worth reading, damn it. That's what I said in my last article. Thanks, Rich.
Seriously, I mean, like, real quick, I mean, like, it costs $30 to get premium for an entire year. It costs like $25 to go to a PTQ. Just skip a PTQ, buy premium, and get lots of really good information for the rest of the year. You know, that's what I say. It's totally worth it. I do it every time.
Hey, before I was a writer, I paid for it every year.
Yeah.
Yep. Thanks, Rich.
All right. Thanks, Debbie.
Is it a little weird that they did a GP for a format that's going to die immediately afterwards? That died today, in fact. You know, like these undefeated decks that now aren't really.
I mean, I don't know. I don't feel like it's a big deal. Like,
yeah, doesn't matter much to yourself.
No, but not to be cynical, really couldn't care less.